9 on Your Side starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Ryan Houston. 3 days after being accused of stealing an SUV with 3 young kids inside and causing an Amber Alert, Howard Mullis was in court for the first time. Breaking right now, a high-speed Amtrak train has derailed near Seattle, Washington, spilling cars onto a busy interstate. We were on our way to Findlay Market when I saw crime scene tape right here on Green and Elm, and even more crime tape where those people are standing. Neighbors we talked to say it's becoming more and more of a common thing every single day. Selfies, love them or hate them, they're here to stay. And it's happening in more ways than one. The Now's Annie Taylor explains how a selfie could soon impact getting life insurance. One person was killed during the Charlottesville demonstration. Former Tri-State native James Fields is charged with first-degree murder.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
You've been watching an ABC News special report. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein made the announcement that 12 Russian nationals were indicted for interfering in the 2016 election. Well, thieves have found yet another way to steal your wallet and your money. Jennifer Krause reports the FBI says if you're not computer savvy, you could fall for the scam. Now, as we head to break, a lookout over the city from the 9 on Your Side Skycam. If you want to see the rest of this dance, you'll have to come out on November 11th. We'll be right back. We want you to watch to see if your favorite makes it through starting tonight at 8, right here on 9 on Your Side.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should go on American Idol. If this
what
TV...
you got? This TV thing. I'm missing you. Yeah. Ooh. Okay.
This is just a great picture right here, Chief Meteorologist Steve Riley. It's so nice. I think I want to take a selfie. You can find that on my Facebook page. How long will all this nice weather stick around?
I tell you what, to use your analogy, picture perfect weather is going to continue for a while.
If there's a fire or something, then we got to get the hell out of here, so we have to know.
So White called Houston I Have a Problem hotline after she tried everything else.
And Ryan Houston spoke to her to help her solve her dangerous situation.
Bobby White has lived with the nightmare of her sister Fran dying in a house fire for more than 50 years.
That broke my heart. And I went over to her place after the fire, and you could see all that smoke and how the heat melted everything, and it was terrible.
She says her sister Fran was smoking a cigarette, dropped it, and fell asleep. The cigarette caught the house on fire, and Fran never made it out.
And I still think about it.
And did she have smoke detectors?
No.
White has Parkinson's and needs help doing everything. She can't get around by herself and uses a wheelchair. She knows firsthand having a smoke detector could mean the difference between life and death.
And I called everybody. I called Council on Aging. I called, what's that other, I called everybody I could think of.
And then she called the Houston I Have a Problem hotline. I emailed the local American Red Cross, and 6 days later, it happened.
Hello, I'm Ron and Tim with the Red Cross.
Hi.
Volunteers came out and installed smoke detectors and helped her family with the safety plan. This is part of their home fire campaign. Since it started back in 2014, they installed more than 1 million working free smoke detectors nationwide. It looks like Bobby White can sleep just a little bit easier tonight. So, in other words, hashtag problem solved.
But that all changed when we put 9 on Your Side's Ryan Houston on the case. Ryan, what happened?
Tanya Durbin called 9 on Your Side because she could not wait any longer. Her son Caleb's wheelchair was broken. When I met the Durbins, Caleb was in a replacement chair, but he needed a new one. And the family, well, they needed answers. Is this all of his medication that he takes daily? Tanya Durbin says her son Caleb takes 12 to 13 pills every single day. He has muscular dystrophy, and he's lost the use of most of his body. And he needs a wheelchair to get around. Mom, it almost sounds like this is a full-time job for you and for Dad and for the family.
Yes, it is. It's a full-time job. Like I said, he is completely dependent on somebody else to help him throughout the day.
His mom says the problem with Caleb's chair started back in July of 2015. The bolt in the back of the chair broke and he fell.
We had to call the ambulance. He was not able to be moved. So the ambulance came and we went to Children's Hospital. He had to spend the night there. He ended up with a broken hip.
The problems continued. His chair was broken, and his mom says Children's Hospital normally handles the process to get him fitted for a new one. The process started, but 2 years later, Caleb was still waiting on that brand new chair.
I reached out to Channel 9 mainly because the process of Caleb's chair was getting ridiculous and I had no clue who to contact.
I called Children's Hospital. The hospital acknowledged the issue and immediately went to work trying to figure out what went wrong. I checked in every week for about 3 weeks or so, and then it happened. This is Caleb trying out his new $75,000 wheelchair at Children's Hospital.
Excited. I mean, overwhelmed as far as joy. The energy is just full of happiness. I mean, I'm just completely, I don't know, Children's did an amazing job.
Cincinnati Children sent over this statement. It reads in part, there were a number of factors that led to Caleb being unable to get a new wheelchair. We regret that it took so long and are examining our processes to improve them for all families who come here for care. So in essence, hashtag problem solved.
Yes, absolutely. You have an answer and it came through.
So if you have a problem and need some help, email me at houston@wcpo.com or leave a message at 513-852-1360 for Houston, I have a problem.
9 on your side starts now.
The Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office is now reviewing the death investigation of Kyle Plush. You may remember he was found dead in his car last month despite calling 911 for help twice. Police Chief Elliot Isaac was prepared to present the investigation to the Law and Public Safety Committee this morning. That was until the city received a subpoena from the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office. Prosecutor Joe Dieter spoke on 700 WLW this morning on why he swooped in just before the release. Dieter says Kyle's father has concerns about photographs in the investigation that show other students and that he's open to the prosecutor's office reviewing the case.
I think Kyle deserves us to look at everything before you guys do anything and make sure that it's been done right. If somebody's screwed up and it goes to a criminal level, we're going to deal with it. I'm not afraid to do that.
Dieter says he'll likely be done with the review early next week. Then Chief Isaac will be able to present the findings of the investigation to the Law and Public Safety Committee. Well, today an autopsy is scheduled for the man who died when Covington police trying to arrest him. Officers pulled over 29-year-old Robert Ennis near the Latonia Kroger yesterday. Chopper 9, the only local helicopter getting a breaking news first, flew over the scene. Investigators say the man suffered some sort of medical emergency. Reporter TJ Parker is working this story today. He'll have the very latest starting on 9 on your side at 5. Well, the man at the center of a SWAT standoff on West Galbraith Road has now been charged. 49-year-old Richard Hornbach is now charged with inducing panic and having weapons, even though he isn't supposed to have them. Officers surrounded his house around 4 yesterday. After reports, he fired a gun into the air. He refused to come out even after officials arrived on the scene. He finally surrendered around 11:30. Well, switching gears a bit, Sherry, we have some good weather outside today.
Yes, finally. You can feel a little bit more of the moisture that's out there today as opposed to yesterday. It was quite dry and we had that red flag.
Sherry, thank you. We recently spoke with the father of the driver in that deadly crash on prom night in Monroe. Here's what we know so far. According to police, the white Tesla was on Milliken Road before veering right, overcorrecting and crashing into a ditch. Look at that damage. It then hit a fence and a pole. 3 of the students are out of the hospital and 17-year-old Kayla Jackson died. The sheriff's office says she was not wearing a seatbelt and was thrown from the car. Crashes in the area are not all that uncommon, we're told.
We do get a lot of crashes on Milliken Road. It's hilly, it's, curvy in different spots. It's straight in some spots. It's just one of those old rural roads where you don't know.
Now, investigators don't believe alcohol or drugs were involved. Well, a white man from Arkansas has been convicted of beating a black man at last year's rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. Police say Jacob Goodman was videotaped attacking DeAndre Harris back on August 12th. The fight was in a parking garage just after a controversial Unite the Right demonstration ended. Harris was left with serious injuries. And a former Mason High School student is among those accused of being part of the group that attacked Harris. Here's some of that video. Dan Borden was arrested here and extradited to Virginia last year. A judge denied his bond. Borden's trial is expected to start June 5th. And you may remember one person was killed during the Charlottesville demonstration. Former Tri-State native James Fields is charged with first-degree murder after witnesses say he drove into a crowd of people, killing Heather Heyer. Investigators say Fields is a self-professed neo-Nazi who meant to kill people with his car. He remains in jail after his bond was denied. Well, President Trump's health has been given extremely positive reviews over the past few years. His personal doctor of 35 years saying Trump had extraordinary stamina. Well, that same doctor is now out with the new claim that the president himself wrote that letter. ABC's Maggie Ruley has that story.
Maggie Ruley, ABC News, New York.
Now that identity salons have closed, what comes next for customers? Consumer reporter John Matarese gets answers in case your salon closes as well. And a criminal tries to outsmart technology and ends up giving himself up to police. How a child's play toy led to his arrest. It's Hump Day and you're watching 9 on your side at noon.